Hey everybody, what's going on? Hexx here with another Master Duel video. So today we're going to be taking yet another look at our free-to-play account. At the end of the last part, we went ahead and finished up our hero deck, or at least we got all of the craft materials left to get the hero deck after not pulling very many of the cards out of actual packs there. So, but in between videos, I did finish up the deck, and as you might have been able to see here, I actually did a little bit of gaming off screen there on the gold ladder. I am up to gold 2 now from gold 5. We're going to be seeing pretty much all of the games here in this video from that climb so far, all but 2 of them. There were 2 games that I'm not showing just because one was against a self-OTK deck that's just presumably farming gems, and the other opponent either disconnected or conceded, I don't remember, like right away before I even got to play a card. So those 2 games aside, we'll be seeing the other 10. I think I played a total of 12 games here. So real quick, let's go ahead and take a look at our deck situation here with the hero deck. Actually, before I do that, I do want to show off real quick my Salamangreat deck. Even though I'm not really using it, I did decide to go ahead and give it a little upgrade. I actually spent 500 gems to get the 3rd Salamangreat structure deck, just so that I would have my 3rd copy of like Signet Binding and Sunlight Wolf there. But as you can see, we're now pretty much an optimized list. We still need Maxi and Nibiru. We obviously need that for the hero deck as well. That would ideally be in this build. I'd probably drop like Foul, Lightning Storm, and then maybe some Parallel Exceeds and a Lightning Storm. Maybe I drop those for Maxis and Nibiru. Not quite sure how I feel about the Parallel Exceeds there, but honestly though, after using Salamangreats for the entirety of Rookie, Bronze, Silver, and all the solo modes, I'm pretty good on Salad for the time being. So let's go to the deck I am more eager to show off here. A little bit more, not even a little bit, a lot bit more. That's going to be Heroes. So this is our current iteration of Heroes. This is a mostly optimized list. This is about where I think I would start if I had all the resources on my main account. Well, in addition to the hero stuff, as far as like staples and stuff go. I think the only changes I would really make here, I would cut the 2 super polys, probably one of the imperms, and then I'd find one other card to cut for the 3 Maxi and 1 Nibiru there. Again, otherwise the list is pretty well optimized here. And especially for a free-to-play account that's less than a week old, this is definitely a pretty solid hero list. So I'm going to break it down real quick card by card. I'll talk about it a little bit, and then we'll take a look at some games. I know that's not the order we usually do things in, but it's a free-to-play series. It's going to be a little bit different. Also, I kind of alluded to this earlier, but in the vein of trying to show every single game possible in the free-to-play series, again, except for ones that are either self-OTK decks or just ended without either player making a move, we're going to be seeing 10 replays today, a whopping 10, so be looking forward to that. Yeah, let me just go ahead and break down the list real quick, and then we'll talk about it. So we're playing 1 Destined Hero Dark Angel, 1 Vision Hero Increase, 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 1 Destined Hero Denier, 2 Elemental Hero Stratos, 2 Vision Hero Vion, 2 Elemental Hero Shadow Mist, 1 Destiny Hero Draw Hand, 1 Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier, 3 Vision Hero Ferris, 2 Destiny Hero Malicious, 1 Elemental Hero Honest Neos, 1 Destiny Hero Plasma, 1 Polymerization, 1 Reinforcement of the Army, 1 Miracle Fusion, 3 A Hero Lives, 1 Fusion Destiny, 1 Fusion Destiny, 2 Super Poly, 3 Mask Change, 2 Call by the Grave, 2 Forbidden Droplet, and then 3 Infinite Impermanence. And then extra deck, yeah, it's going to have 2 Masked Hero Darklaw, 1 Masked Hero Blast, 1 Elemental Hero Sunrise, 1 Elemental Hero Absolute Zero, 1 Elemental Hero Shining, 1 Elemental Hero Great Tornado, 1 Vision Hero Trinity, 1 Masked Hero Acid, 1 Elemental Hero SQ Dario, 1 Destined Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, 1 Extra Hero Wonder Driver, 2 Extra Hero Cross Crusader, and then finally 1 Predaplant Vert Anaconda. I think one change I would make to the extra deck actually is when Super Polys go out, I'd probably drop the Shining. Yeah, I think I'd probably drop the Shining, I think, for some other extra deck monster. I don't know. It would either be the extra hero that does piercing and boosts monsters' attack power, or just some other maybe a little bit more niche extra deck option. But I did include the Shining to be able to super poly light targets. I will say I do kind of regret, because I was going back and forth between whether I wanted to play Shining or Star Venom for my 15th slot in the extra deck, and I ultimately picked the Shining. I kind of wish I would have picked Star Venom. One of the games that we're going to see here I think could have ended a lot differently if I had access to Starving Venom Fusion Dragon in my extra deck to super poly with. So as far as the build itself goes, I'm really liking these ratios. The draw hand is something I'm a little bit weary on. It doesn't look like a whole lot of more recent hero builds are playing it. When I was looking up some hero guides and watching some videos of people playing heroes, I did see that people, or at least one person anyway, was using this in a play. Oh shoot, do I even remember which combo that was? Let me see if I can find it here. Let me reference my notes. I think it was used in... Okay, yeah, so there's a play with it where, you know, if you've got... Looks like a hero lives in any monster, just like any monster you can normal summon, you can end on DPE plus Mask Hero Darklaw if you've got the draw hand in the deck there. Now, I actually haven't pulled that play off yet, so, you know, that's, I guess, kind of why I guess that I'm not super sold on draw hand, because it's, like I said, it's part of one play that's a little bit niche. Honestly, if you get a hero lives plus another monster, you can usually do a little bit better than just ending on Masked Hero Darklaw and Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, but it's really going to ultimately come down to your extra deck options, which is why I've been thinking about that as well. So yeah, it's funny, like this all that we're going to see here is the kind of practice dueling that I would probably normally do off screen when I'm first getting into a deck. Oh yeah, I wanted to save our duel pass and mission rewards for when I was on screen as well, because so far I've been collecting every reward on screen. I want to continue to do that. Ooh, I got 21 ultra rare craft points. It's actually an even 30 now. So I think in between videos here, I'm going to update the deck before I finish off gold and get to platinum. Get all my rewards here. Another 530 gems. That's pretty rad. We have enough for a 10 pack, which I guess we could open, although there's not really anything in particular I'm trying to get. Although I do still want to open packs, of course, in order to, you know, get more craft points. We'll do that at the end of the video. We'll just pick a random... You know what? Why not? We'll start cracking into, like, Sword, Soul, and Despia 10 packs. There's kind of... I mean, what else am I going to build on this alt account, really? Well, I guess to be fair, I should build decks that I haven't played. Whatever, I'll figure that out off screen. Well, no, I want to open packs at the end of the video. We'll figure it out later, regardless. In any case, let's go ahead and take a look at these games here. So, our first opponent is playing a straight-up Utopia structure deck. Gold is a very mixed bag. You really get either, like... It seems like you really either get somebody who is very fresh to the game, slash having recently returned after not playing for a while, or someone who, like, very much knows what they're doing. It's like very much one or the other. I don't tend to find a whole lot of middle ground otherwise. So here's a hand here where I have, you know, a hero lives plus one other monster, but the fact that I opened Ferris is, or did I open Ferris? Sorry, I opened a bunch of really good stuff. Let me actually go back here. Well, the fact that I opened just, again, a bunch of generally good stuff, like the mask change, the fact that I already have the mask change in hand is pretty rad. Same with the malicious as well. So, like, I have plays for days here. This is going to be one of those hands where I can actually just do everything. And funnily enough, I end up doing a little bit too much, not that it's really going to matter. By the way, for those of you who are like, oh, you're just talking while you're making plays, you're not explaining how to combo. Don't worry, there will be a combo guide for this deck. I just want to make sure I actually, like, know how to play it first, because, like, I very much don't. Now, granted, before these games, I did play around with this deck in solo mode. I usually like to do that when I'm, you know, playing a deck that I've never played before. I'll just kind of like, you know, of course, in addition to looking up combo guides and videos and, you know, deck lists and the Master Duel meta, deck breakdown, all that stuff, I'll then spend a few, I don't know, maybe like 10 games in solo mode, just throwing back hands and opening stuff until I manage to just feel like I have a decent hang of the deck, like I at least generally know what's going on. So this is kind of what I meant when I said I've got like too much going on here. You can see I actually played Plasma plus Dark Angel, which actually doesn't really do anything because Plasma negates Dark Angel. Dark Angel, for those who don't know, this card's insane. I didn't know this card existed until like I started looking up hero combo guides. I've played against heroes, but I don't think I've ever had them drop this on me. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So, Dark Angel. Basically, this card, if you've got 3 or more Destiny Hero monsters in grave, you can discard it and then summon it. I mean, any Destiny Hero monster, but really you're going to summon this monster to your opponent's side of the field. And then while this card is on the field, it basically just negates every single spell card that's played. So the idea is that, you know, you throw it on your opponent's board, and then they just can't play spell cards. Of course, like I mentioned, Plasma and Angel is actually a non-bow. They don't work together because As mentioned, the Plasma will negate the Dark Angel as it is on the opponent's field, so you know, they won't have monster effects because of the Plasma, but they do get spell cards. Not that it matters, because my opponent's just going to concede anyway, but that was a hand where we actually just got to do everything. Again, not that it was effective or good to do every single thing, but, you know, we could do it, so... Alright, so this game we're playing against straight up Harpies. That is, for some reason, using a vanilla Harpy Lady over Harpy Lady 1. Maybe there's a reason to do that. I don't know, maybe there's like an effect that says if you got the OG Harpy Lady, do something else. I know nothing about that archetype, so... I guess I know enough about it that like you want to pair it with Tri Brigades. I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of archetypes that you want to... that are within the tri-type that you would want to pair with Tri-Brigades. The vast majority of them. I think I've seen, like, Tri-Brigade Harpies are, like, kind of a thing as well, but... this opening hand is pretty abysmal. We opened Super Poly plus Call By, Setting, and Passing, because we don't have anything else in hand. The rest of our hand is another Call By Poly and Liquid Soldier, so... Opponent is going to be able to pick apart our back row with the field spell here, the Harpy's Hunting Ground. It's a little annoying, but the fact that it's a mandatory effect is actually going to work a little bit in our favor here. I guess it more accurately against our opponent's favor here, as they then synchro into the Cyber Harpy Lady Slash. They can use any Harpy as a tuner for that, which is why they were able to do that there. But because this effect is mandatory, they're going to have to destroy their own Hysteric Sign with no effect. They don't get to add up to 3 Harpy cards because they already added the Elegant Egotist this turn, so... we do rip... literally any hero monster would have done it, so we had a lot of top decks, but ripped a Plasma specifically to go into the Sunrise here. I actually get the Liquid Soldier's effect here too, and also because I played Polymerization while I controlled no monsters, the Cyber Harpy Lady actually doesn't get to bounce the Sunrise, so that's pretty nice. Here I'm actually going to pitch the Miracle Fusion, because I want to keep the Call By just in case they've got, like, an Ash or something. I really should have kept the Miracle Fusion in hindsight. If they had Ash or Maxi or something I could Call By, they would have done it by now, so it's really kind of pointless to have kept the Call By here. You know what? I spoke too soon. I totally forgot they actually played an Ash Blossom here. JK. I really don't know why they didn't Ash up until this point. I guess maybe they didn't have any good... Like, to be fair, they couldn't Ash the draw, so I guess they didn't really care about the Miracle Fusion. Oh, I did misplay here, by the way, by using the Increases effect. I completely forgot that would actually count as a spell or trap effect for the Cyber slash Harpy, which is a shame. It's actually part of the reason I binned the Miracle Fusion was because I didn't want to activate the spell card while Cyber slash Harpy was in play. I did go to a little bit of effort to try to play around that, but then... Again, you know, I went to activate the increase effect, and then I was like, oh, wait, that's a trap card, duh. So, yeah, it's going to activate the Cyber Harpy Lady Slash. So, this play gets a lot more awkward here. If we had the Sunrise, like, we'd be able to just run over the Cyber Harpy Lady Slash and then also blow up the Hunting Ground with Sunrise's effect. That would have been a lot more convenient, but here I have to do something really, really awkward. I have to, like, battle with Honest Neos over it. Much, much worse, so... Yeah, again, just be aware. You will not see optimal hero play in this video. These are, again, quite literally my first. Well, again, I'm gonna say my first 10 games playing the deck because the other 2 games we're not seeing again. I didn't actually get to play. I should show the list just to verify that so you can see there. I'm trying to think actually. What is our record so far overall? It was what? 17 games up to gold. I lost 2 so far on gold, and that gold 2, so 9 to 11. So 11 plus 17, so 20. We're 28-2 so far on the account is our overall record. 28 wins, 2 losses PvP. Definitely not too shabby if I do say so myself. So here it looks like the opponent was really only able to get out a Harpy Channeler. Definitely not going to be enough there. I've still got the Ferris on board, and I have an increase as well. That's the nice thing about the increase, that if the game does go on a little bit longer, it's not too much of a problem. Most of the time, anyway, from what it seems. You do have some decent amount of recursion, including increase, and of course, DPE itself. There's a lot of situations, too, I've noticed, where, like, you'll have an extra random search. So, you can usually use, like, an incidental search on turn 1 to potentially add something for turn 2. Like, something I know I've done in at least one of these games was, like, I didn't really have like anything else to do on turn 1, so I just ended my turn by like adding a liquid soldier for the follow-up turn. Alright, this game, 14 turns, holy cow, it's actually against Dinomorphia. This game was pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. It's funny, usually I cut like between these, but I don't know, something about the free-to-play series I just feel a little more lax about for some reason. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, I'll just show it all. Well, I think, again, it's just a desire to actually just show it all. As you can see here, our opening hand is abysmal. It's actually just like one of the worst hands we could probably open going first. 2 Ash Blossom, 2 Imperm, and Malicious. I guess what would have been worse is if we opened like 3 Ash Blossom, 2 Malicious, or something like that. Anyway, our opponent's going to start off with a Duality. I'll fire off an Ash Blossom. They've got a call by for it, so that I thought was pretty interesting. It tells me that the fact they want to protect the Duality this badly means they need this ad, or at least I suspect maybe they do. Either that, or maybe they're not a deck that is like... I don't know, I guess to be fair, like, what else are you gonna call by when you're playing Dinomorphia, like, in this scenario? Like, I'm not gonna use Max C. Well, I mean, I could have used Max C, but I guess to be fair, they'd only really ever get one, or they'd only really ever summon once if I max it anyway. So I think the call by on the Ash against the Duality was right. I was gonna say it's a little weird they did that even though they had the ad with the Thursday. I would think this would be a little bit more important, but the Thursday rather. But again, to be fair, it's not that likely that I have 2 Ash Blossoms here, even though I actually do. And there's not really a whole lot else that they probably want to call by anyway. So no, I think that was fine. I think that was actually a fine play. So yeah, let's see what I draw here. It was the Droplet. Yes, I top decked the Droplet here. Opponent's gonna top deck another Duality. So opponent's draws are, I don't actually know for Dinomorphia how good these draws are. I don't think this is an optimized list anyway. It's playing well above 40 cards, but yeah, I don't know. Their draws seem average. Mine are just abysmal. Again, it's call by number 2. Like, I'm drawing literally everything but hero cards here, except for the 1 Malicious. So I hear my opponent's going to try to go off with the Dinomorphia Frenzy as well as the Dinomorphia Domain, but I fortunately have the means to negate both of them. The Frenzy I'll negate with the second Ash Blossom, the Domain I can hit with the Imperm, so I can at least keep their big fusions off the board for the time being. I'm actually going to throw this game into fast forward because it's a pretty long one, so. And there's honestly not a whole lot that happens on each individual turn. Like, yeah, as you can see, they set a card, pass, attack me, pass back to me. Still don't really draw any action. So I'm going to have to send this Super Poly and pass. Hope for Escape only drew 1 card there, which is pretty nice for me. They set a couple more cards for passing back to me. I finally draw a monster I can, play, this Vion. I could use that to send the Shadow Mist and add the Ferris. Then I can add a Polymerization as well. Now I can use the Ferris and Maui to make some plays here. Ferris plus Maui is definitely a good way to start off most plays with this deck. I'm actually going to summon the Maui and then pop that with the Vision Hero Increase, or that was going to be my plan anyway until my opponent activated a Ferret Flame. So I decided to keep the Vion since my opponent has 1,000 life points and I had 1,000 attack. It's a little bit devastating, but I can at least increase into Vion until they use another Ferret Flames. In that case, it's only going to remove the increase, which is fine. I'm not really that worried about it. Alright, so yeah, here I'll use the Droplet. I actually knew they had this Dinomorphia alert set, but since I had the call by, I knew I could just bash and that would activate with no effect. Unfortunately, my opponent actually had a monster to set, which is super unlucky for me. Yeah, if they hadn't had that, I could have gone for game here. The mask change off top is definitely not too bad. I'm going to go into Dark Law and smack over their face that monster, which turns out to be Ash Blossom. They set another card before passing, hopefully going to try to swing in for game here, but they actually ripped a Dinomorphia Domain off the top of their deck, so now they get to go into Cat Regina. From there they can do another Fusion Summon into the Rexterm, and it's over for me at this point. So yeah, this was a very close game, but I will say I'm not too dissatisfied with this being one of my losses, to have such a nice back and forth against a nice deck like Dinomorphia here. So, and at this point they get to smack me for refill with Kit Regina, so that is going to make one of our 2 losses thus far. Alright, our next game here is going to be against Tri-Brigade Leerlisk. Wait, were they running a Thunder Dragon package? I saw the, yeah, they're running a little Thunder Dragon. They're running exactly 2 Thunder Dragons for Colossus. It's kind of interesting, actually. I've entertained the idea of doing that in certain decks, like running a very, very, very bare bones Thunder Dragon package for Colossus, but Tri-Brigade Leerlisk, I will say, was not one of those decks. Let's see here. I'm going to take the first turn. Opening hand is looking astounding. I've got A Hero Lives plus Ferris and Shadow Mist, so yeah, this game's looking pretty good. Since I've got the Shadow Mist in hand, I'm going to get the Stratos off. Opponent's got an Imperm, but that's totally fine. This Stratos search can not resolve. We'll still have plenty of plays. From here, I can activate the Ferris when I pitch the Shadow Mist in order to summon the Ferris. And I don't think I actually end up... Yeah, I'm not going to use the Shadow Mist effect here because I still have my normal summon. And because I still have my normal summon, I can get Liquid Soldier later in this turn, and then potentially use that to bring back the Shadow Mist, and then I get a Mask Change, and I can open with Dark Law. You really want to open with Dark Law turn 1 as many times as you can. It's a little bit tricky to do, though. If you don't naturally open with the Mask Change, then what you have to do is you have to special summon Shadow Mist. There's really 2 ways you can do that. One is with A Hero Lives to special it from the deck. The other is to normal summon a Liquid Soldier and then bring back the Shadow Mist from the graveyard. Both are a little tricky, again, because A Hero Lives requires you to have no monsters, and then the Liquid Soldier, you have to normal summon it while the Shadow Mist is already in your graveyard. So you have to be in a scenario where you've already set the Shadow Mist in the graveyard without committing your normal summon, which isn't the most difficult thing in the world, but it can be a little tricky sometimes. And again, Dark Claw is ideal to end on turn 1, ideal being the key word. If you don't actually end on the Dark Claw... Oh, I totally misplayed at this point. The combo, by the way, like I misplayed the placement of Wonder Driver, and I misplayed some point a couple steps before that too. But it's not really going to ultimately matter here. Can still pull off the Dark Claw plus DPE with the Wonder Driver, so that's one cool thing about this deck. Like, it seems like, because I know I can't be playing optimally yet, but it still doesn't feel like I'm too hindered by that. Like, I can pretty easily recognize at points where I don't play optimally, but I'm not like super duper punished for it most of the time. I was a little punished for it in the Dinomorphia game, but oh, here, yeah, the opponent's going to use an Assembled Nightingale, but I want to wait for them to activate the Nightingale's effect first before using my DPE's effects, because the Nightingale can, once per turn, you know, as a quick effect, make it so it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. What my opponent should have done here, if they wanted to go for Zeus, which they were clearly trying to go for, well, there really wasn't any way they could have done that, though, is there? Now that I'm thinking about it, I was going to say they should have just battled and not tried to activate the effect, because I was always just going to, like, if I try to use DPE's effect, they can just chain the Assembled Nightingale's effect. The problem if they do it that way, though, is then when they go into Downward Magician / Zeus, well, the Downward Magician is when I would do it, I can just pop that with the DPE. So I guess it really wasn't a good timing for them to be able to do this here. But yeah, that's definitely going to tie that game up pretty nicely there. Next game that we're going to look at here is going to be our other loss is going to be against Sword Soul Tenny. Kind of one of the things I was alluding at too when I say, like, it seems like you either run into, like, you know, a structure deck out of the box or, like, you know, Sword Soul Tenny. To be fair, this list isn't, like, super duper optimized, but it's definitely not terrible. Alright, let's see here. I'm trying to remember if I go first or second. I go second, that's right. The funny thing is, we actually do manage... Well, we'll see. We'll see how the game progresses. I'll show you. Alright, so look at my opening hand here. This hand's really good, actually. Particularly for going second. I mean, obviously, we'd ideally like Ashade or Imperm, but those aside, you know, having the Super Poly plus Mask Change plus Stratos is pretty good. The Dark Angel isn't going to really do a whole lot, though, going second. That's actually not that great to open, but could also potentially just pitch it off the Super Poly here. Either that or the Plasma. This isn't really looking like a hand where Plasma is going to get a whole lot of use, or a matchup. I guess a particular game, rather, because our opponent's definitely going to get pretty well established. Getting the Chi-Shao plus Baron set up. I'm trying to remember, did they add the Longyan? Yeah, they added the Longyan, okay. Okay, so they just happen to also have the Emergence in their hand, which is definitely a pretty huge blow for me. the Protoss coming down and making it so I can't summon any dark monsters when the vast majority of my hero monsters are dark is definitely going to be a little bit annoying. But with this hand, I can actually break this board without having to summon any dark monsters. I'm going to summon Stratos. The opponent is predictably going to activate the Chi effect, but I can actually chain with the Super Polymerization here. And because, of course, Super Poly can't be chained to for, any reason, my opponent can't negate it with Baron. This will let me fuse the Stratos and the Baron into Great Tornado. Now, not only is the Baron gone, but my Stratos is off the field, which means the Chi is unable to negate it. This was my huge mistake here, adding this Honest Neos. I have no clue why I added this Honest Neos. I really couldn't tell you. I really should have added a better backup play. Like, I should have added a Liquid Soldier, honestly, or Stratos, or Ferris. There were honestly a couple of things I could have added that would have been better than Honest Neos. I really don't know what I was thinking by adding this. I even remember thinking, like, at this point during the game, while I was playing, I was like, why did I add this card? This doesn't do anything. So, this game, yeah, it could have potentially been a win had I actually added something more relevant, which is a shame too, because I actually did manage to, again, break their whole opening setup without even having to summon a dark monster. But, alas, easy come, easy go, so on and so forth. I'm not really too fussed. If it's one of, again, 2 losses so far on the account out of 30 games, I'm definitely okay with that. Oh yeah, that's right. And then they started doing hero stuff. I was like, because I remember at this point, I was like, okay, I figured I'd kind of lost, so I kind of I started paying a little bit less attention. And I remember looking up at this point, and I was like, right, I'm sending DP, and I was like, wait, I'm not doing anything. What's going on? And then I saw this, and I was like, is this still the same matchup? And it's like, oh yeah, this is still the same matchup. So this Sword Soul Teddy deck is also playing a DPE engine. It's funny, I remember when Sword Soul's very first launched on Master Duel, for literally the first 5, not even that, 3 days they were out, there was a bit of a debate on the subreddit, or was it the Discord? It was probably both, where people were like, which version is better? Is it Sword Soul Tenny, or is it Sword Soul without the Tenny engine and the DPE engine instead? And I tried out both on the channel, actually, and I was like, it's Sword Soul Tenny, right? It's very easily Sword Soul Tenny. And I remember somebody, I think on the Discord, I don't think it was in my YouTube comments, somebody on the Discord, told me, was just kind of doing the whole spiel of, no, you're totally wrong, the pure version's pure is what they called Sword Souls with DPE. The pure version's way better, da-da-da-da, and it's like, yeah, where is that version nowadays? It's very much non-existent. So here is actually a misplay the opponent did, is summoning this Nibiru in defense mode, because I can still bring back the Denier here, and then battle over the Nibiru. So at this point, I'm actually looking like things might not be... it's kind of like the last game, I'm in a bit of a spot because of a misplay I made, but things might not necessarily be totally downhill from here. But they did actually have another emergence, of course, on top of the DPE they get back as well. So here I'm just going to throw the rest of this game in fast forward. Sorry about that bump to my desk there. Yeah, I'm just going to throw the rest of this game in fast forward here. Oh, that's right. They used the Malicious to go for a Cheng-Ying with the Sword Soul token, which was a very... that was a cool play. I will admit, that was a very nice play on my opponent's part, and not something I would have considered about, playing this particular variant of Sword Souls here. Yeah, I definitely should have added something more relevant, especially considering I end up getting another turn after that. Oh well. What can you do? Alright, let's see here. This one is going to be against, looks like a vampire deck of some sort. Oh, it's this one, right? Yeah. Yeah, the rest of these games aren't too much longer. These are mostly just going to be me, setting up a board and then... Oh, also, you might have noticed I did finally break my going first streak. I think I ended up with 22... It was either 21 or 22 games. The first 21 or 22, we'll say 21 just to be safe. The first 21 PvP games of the account, we did go first, but as you saw earlier, we did actually start going second at a certain point here. So still, to have literally your first, a little over 20 games go first is fairly lucky. I actually posted this on Twitter the other day. It's really insane, our luck with this account. It's all over the place, right? Because like when it comes to like coin tosses and going first, again, we've gone first so often, and we went first like every game up to gold, and the first few games of gold as well. But then you've got the packs, and well, you've all seen the pack openings. They're what's the word I'm looking for? Abysmal, that's it. Yeah, no, they're pretty bad. Definitely took opening a lot more packs than it should have to build this deck, honestly. And it's really, honestly, disappointing that I am still not able to put, like, quote-unquote, fully finish this deck. I mean, this deck is pretty much finished. I mean, as far as, like, you know, its main game plan and what it's trying to do, this is a fully built and optimized hero deck. As far as I know, at least as far as I'm able to build, having the knowledge I do about the deck, when you throw out that caveat. But I would still like Maxis and Nibiru's though. Like I would select some staples. And again, I should not have had to open as many packs to build this deck as I did. I talked about this in the last video, I think, but had I not gone for heroes, had I gone for literally any other deck, I could have like at least three decks aside from Sound Mangrate right now. That would be like almost done, if not fully done. I could probably have two with like all the staples I want, for sure. Maybe even three, but yeah, I didn't really commentate much over that game because like these games are all gonna pretty much be more or less the same. I'm going to, looks like this one's against Ancient Warrior. I think pretty much all these games I actually even have Dark Angel as well. So pretty much all these games are gonna end with me putting out some combination of like DPE, Dark Law, and Dark Angel on turn 1. I don't typically go for Plasma on turn 1. I'm a little bit skeptical of it. Not that I don't think it's a bad play to go for it on turn 1, but I think between Plasma and Dark Angel, I'd rather end on Dark Angel. Because like, I don't know, I feel like the spell disruption can be, not is always, but can be a lot more cumbersome than the monster effect negation, particularly because it's attached to like a 1900 attack monster, right? Because skill drain is obviously a very good effect, and one-sided skill drain is a very powerful effect, but being attached to a 1900 attack monster is a little bit awkward there. So for that reason, I personally kind of treat Plasma as more of a going second card. I tend to prioritize, again, DPE, Dark Law, and Dark Angel on turn 1. But again, I know Plasma is also good to go for on turn 1. I guess, you know, it's as always as ever, if any of you have any pointers, any of you who might be a little bit more experienced with heroes, want to give me some advice in the comments below, would be more than open to that, as I am very new to the deck. I will, of course, be practicing a little bit off-screen as well, and then even after we hit Platinum, hitting Platinum is still, I think, going to be the ending point for the series for me, is what I'm thinking right now, so it looks like it's probably going to be one more video, and then we'll probably call it. This won't be the end of the account on the channel. Like, obviously, if I ever want to feature heroes, which I definitely will, I'll come back to this account here. I'd like to have Maxis and Nibiru, though, before I, like, make a deck profile. Like a formal, I guess, deck profile for this deck, which, I mean, I don't know, what really is that? Like, it's really just me, like, I guess introducing it a little bit differently, but it's ultimately not going to be too much difference there. I'm honestly just happy to be able to play heroes. That's really the main thing. I love this deck so much. I love this archetype. I've always loved heroes. I also think it's really cool that, like, Destiny heroes in particular are really good nowadays, because it really wasn't the case for a long time, except for specifically like Plasma and Malicious back in, God, what would that have been, like 2007, 2008? Which game are we on? Let's see. Okay, yeah, this is the next one. I actually played against a Dragon Link deck down here, which is in a gold rank, which is pretty interesting. Also interesting that it's a 54 card deck with 2 grasses. Like, even if you don't have a set of grasses yet, you still probably want to be at 60, I would think, but maybe not. What was I saying? Yeah, Destiny heroes. Destiny heroes are really rad. They're my favorite kind of hero, I think, and for a long time, again, outside of Malicious, Plasma, this Commander, of course, I knew I was reading another one, they really weren't that great, like, as an archetype. So to see them I don't know, they're not a standalone archetype here, of course, but to see them act as more of an archetype here is definitely cool. I like this hero deck. I think I like it. I think I definitely like it better than the hero stun decks I've played in the past. There is a certain nostalgia, rather, I guess, to Hero Beat, which was like Neos Alias plus Gemini Spark plus Hero Blast, which isn't really a combo. It was just more of like a little engine that you would play. The little engine that could. It's funny, it's just like, it's weird hearing myself call that an engine, because like by today's standards, that's such a slow engine. It's like abysmally slow, but I mean, the game, I guess, was, compared to what it is nowadays, I guess, you know, at a turtle space back then. So here I'm going to imperm the Romulus, is where I'm going to throw it into this combo. You might have noticed me, like, letting the, what's it called? You might have noticed that I let the, Boot Sector launch. I let that get added off of the Striker Dragon there. I decided to negate the Romulus for the Dragon Ravine instead, because the Ravine, I think, basically they can... I think they're more likely to make plays off of the Ravine than the Boot Sector launch if they're only going to have one or the other. Was kind of my thought process behind that. Now here, they actually did happen to have a Rocket Monster in their hand, so they are going to be able to make plays. It wasn't the Tracer, though. It was actually the Recharger, which means that they're not going to be able to do, like a disgusting amount of stuff here, but they are still going to be able to end on the, what do you call it? Boreland Dragon. They do make a little mistake here. You might have noticed it. They just did it right there. It was when they used the Pisty in order to bring back the Recharger. To be fair, they didn't have anything else to bring back. But also, to be fair, I don't think they needed to do that in order to be able to make the Boreland here, because they're going to end on an extra material with the Red Med. But this Boreland actually doesn't do anything right now. Well, I mean, it still can't be. It's still got 3,500 attack and can't be destroyed by battle or card effects or targeted by monster effects. But as far as the monster negation goes, I can't do that. And the reason I can't do that is because my opponent does not have a rocket monster in their graveyard. So really, my opponent just ended on a bunch of like big attack monsters and didn't do a whole lot super threatening here. So because I already have Stratos in my opening hand, I'm going to use a Hero Lives for Shadow Mist here. That'll let me add the mask change as well. I guess to be fair, I could have specialed to Stratos and normal bet anyway. Stratos is not actually once per turn because it predates. It's from an era where that clause wasn't really needed on cards like Stratos. Of course, nowadays any monster with a Stratos-like effect is going to always be once per turn. Also, by the way, I shouldn't really be summoning in defense mode here. It's not really going to ultimately matter, but given that I shouldn't have any trouble getting around this Boreland Dragon at the end of the day, so I guess I was just playing a little bit cautiously here. My plan to handle this Boreland Dragon, by the way, is to go into a Plasma. Well, okay, actually, you know what? To be fair, I misplayed here. I was going to try to pop it with DPE, and then I was like, oh yeah, duh, wait, you can't destroy it with card effects, which I should know. There's no excuse for me not to know that. Was just having a little bit of a mind slip there, but it's not that big of a deal. We're going to go into the Cross Crusader, which will let us special the Malicious back, and then we can send it to add the Plasma. And then we can use the Plasma to suck up the Boreland Dragon. Can even summon Plasma alongside Darklaw and DPE here by bringing back both Denier and Malicious. Yeah, it's too bad actually. If I had actually popped the Red Med with the DP, I could have swung for lethal on this turn, but alas, my misplay is going to cost me, well, it won't cost me the game, it'll just cost me the ability to end the game on this turn. The opponent's obviously still going to have a really hard time playing through this board on their turn. Yeah, I decided to just DP in response to the Boot Sector launch, just to not really take any chances there. The MST of all cards. Yeah, gold is wild. Because up to this point, I was like, wow, that's like a full-fledged like Dragon Link deck. Well, again, except for the fact that it was 54 cards, and then it threw out an MST. It's like, oh, gold. Don't ever change. All right, we got 2 more games to look at here. This one's going to be against a Predaplant deck. Whoops. Oh, I didn't mean to make that. Yeah, there we go. I wanted to play it. Yeah, this one's going to be against a Predaplant deck. It didn't look like it was branded. but definitely still something that I'm not like... It's weird. Like, rogue decks, especially ones that I don't know, like, super duper well, I always have this, like, mixed sort of trepidation about playing them, because, like, on one hand, I know they're rogue decks, so I know they shouldn't provide too much of an issue, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know the deck super duper well, so I'm also like, like, I'm not gonna know what to negate, I'm not really gonna know what is going on, but that's actually not super true for Pedal Plants, now I think about it. I didn't play against them a whole lot in the Duelist Cup, but I think it was enough to, like, kind of have a general gist of what was going on. Although I don't think this is a very, like, a super duper optimized list, to be fair. This is the first one I see that is actually going to run out some of the older fusion ones, like the, what is it, the Rafflesia. No, not the Rafflesia. No, yeah, it is the Chimera Rafflesia. I'll point it out when they summon it. But I don't think most Predator Plant decks will run that card. Again, also, I don't think they're using a branded engine. I don't remember seeing one just now, anyway. I saw engine chains, but I didn't see branded stuff. They're also only playing 14 cards in their extra deck, so... Looks like this one's going to end up being another Dark Angel setup, this time with just DP here. Oh, that's right, I remember this, yeah. So, I actually got pretty unlucky in my matchup here. My opponent ended up playing Link Creep on the extra deck, so it's like, wow, they actually had the means to, like, remove the Dark Angel without having to commit another monster to the board. Because usually if my opponent summons a monster while alongside the Dark Angel, I'm like, okay, they're probably just going to go for Link 2 and get rid of it that way, but nope, here they actually had the relevant Link 1 for it. Yeah, I don't think Optimized List used the Ultra Polymerization either. I don't think this card is good. This card is also, I don't think it's super great. It's not bad by any means. I guess the once per turn banish is nice, but it is a targeted banish. It also has to be a monster with a lower level. Yeah, okay, never mind. That's not that great. So yeah, I tried to strike the Bullfrog pretty early in the turn to see if I could stop them from doing their plays, but they did still have plenty of options aside from that. I know this low-level fusion, the Ambulum... Oh my god, these names. This low-level fusion, I know this is pretty important to the strategy, this search. I mean, it seems like it is anyway, so... I wanted to save my imperm for when it or some, like, scary effect came down, so... that is one thing I do remember from playing against this deck in the Duelist Cup, is that this level 5 fusion monster tends to be a pretty important combo piece, it seems like, for most of their plays. Now, since I lost a hero monster, I actually get the increase out of the graveyard. This is what I was talking about actually earlier, how increase can be useful for the long game, because then, yeah, when you lose a hero monster, you just summon the increase, and you get a Vion, you get a search. Decided to just grab the Honest Neos here, because I didn't really have anything else to add, and I figured there might be a situation where I need the extra 2,500 points of damage to close out the duel on this turn. The Link Creepo being negated is very nice. It's like why I said I don't think Ultra Polymerization is that great of a card, because, like, I mean, bringing the materials back is fine and all, but if you're not going to do anything with them, then they're just going to have 0 attack and not have an effect, so... Yeah, this Link Creepo in particular is just, like, begging to be attacked. I'm trying to figure out if I can actually get 6,000 points of damage in one attack. I don't think I need to, but... Oh, I think maybe I could have actually with this polymerization. I think my opponent could, yeah, they concede when I flip the poly. That's right, I think I was going to try to Sunrise there or something, maybe Trinity, I don't remember. Alright, we got one more game here that's going to be against an Eldritch deck, which is 45. So many decks here that are a little above 40 cards. I don't know why. I don't know why people seem to be allergic to 40 card decks at this rank, but they definitely are few and far between from what I can tell. Okay, opponent's going to reveal Lord of the Heavenly Prison and set a couple of cards before passing over to us. Our hand is alright. We have a Ferris, so I mean, a live Ferris is generally an indication. Well, actually, Ferris plus any other card is an OTK, from what I remember from one of the combo guides I was looking at, so... that, of course, also assumes your opponent doesn't have any disruption, but To be fair, it also, that combo ends on like DPE, Sunrise, and Escudario, and between the Sunrise and DPE, you also get to pop 2 cards. So, no, to be fair, that is pretty nice that you get to do that. Opponent is going to have a little bit of disruption for us, though, the Dogmatica Punishment. Since it targets, I'm going to go ahead and mask change the Vion, but either way, this means I'm not going to get to search a Polymerization, so I can't quite go for the full play that I'd like to, but we still get to go for a very solid play here. Dogmatica Punishment is going to resolve without effect, so it doesn't send a fusion effect monster, or a fusion monster to the graveyard, because the card again did not have effect there, so. Yeah, opponent's got the Sword of the Heavenly Prison, but I'm not scared at all. I'm actually not scared of the card they said either, because Stratos, as some of you may know, actually has an effect other than searching. I can pop back rows with it. So I can pop both their back rows and then super poly this Lord of the Heavenly Prison, which actually I don't know that I necessarily even needed to do this. I think I could have actually super polyed for a Sunrise, and then Sunrise could have potentially, not even potentially, I could have just battled over it with Sunrise, because Sunrise's effect would have destroyed the monster. So I actually didn't really have to do that there, but... Alright, there are those games. Oh yeah, I said I would show... Let me go to Duel here, go to Match History, and I can show you... Yep, so there's silver, and then as you can see, it was just those 2 losses in gold so far. Again, there are 2 other wins here, that would be this game and this game, but... yeah, this one I think was this self-OTK deck. Yes, and then this opponent just conceded like straight away. Like as soon as the game started, yeah, they never even played a card. So those are all the games that we have played thus far here on the free-to-play account. Now I did say that I would end on a pack opening, didn't I? I should probably keep my word as far as that goes. Although I don't want to build a branded Despia because I already have those on the main account. I was actually kind of thinking about this earlier, like what's another deck I don't have that I could potentially build here? Oh yeah, I was thinking about Cybers, because like there's the structure deck too. Or like Cyber Hand. Let me look up Cyber Dragon. I'm not going to make any promises to play this deck. I want to be very clear about this right now. This is a deck I am like somewhat a little bit, maybe a teensy little tiny bit interested in. In this regard, I will buy a 10-pack towards it, as well as a free pull, but I just don't want anyone to get really excited being like, oh, Hextech is going to play Cybers next. It's probably not going to happen, to be totally honest. I kind of, again, just want packs to open. And again, I don't want to open Sword Soul Despia packs on this account because I've already got those decks on my main account, so it's like, kind of feels like, what's the point, you know? I'm honestly mainly doing this to get some Ultra Craft materials to get Maxi and Nibiru is the main reason I'm even opening packs, period. But yeah, why not? We'll crack open some Cyber Dragon packs here. See what all we get. I guess in that way, this is kind of like a GX account. We got Heroes, we got Cybers. Which, to be fair, were also 2 of my favorite decks from this era as well. Which, I mean, those were everybody's favorite decks from GX, though. It's Heroes and Cybers. Like, of course, Jaden and Zane were always going to be, like, everybody's favorite characters, right? Ooh, rarity upgrade. Nice. So we do get an Ultra. Let's see what it ends up being. It's not from the Cyber stuff, which is actually fine, honestly. How about that? I didn't even go... I purposefully tried not to get the Despia pack, but the branded cards find their way towards me anyway. Yeah, super here. The Cyber Emergency. Oh, yeah, you might also notice I have a bunch of super craft points now. I dismantled a bunch of extra supers off screen, just, I don't know, because I could. Mostly just getting rid of stuff I didn't think I was ever going to use. We got something here. That's a super, okay. Let's see, what, 3? Yeah, 3 more packs. Ooh, an Ultra. Alright. Ooh, 2 Ultras, Bahamut Shark. That's an interesting pull. I'd actually like that for the main account, honestly. Alright, one more pack. Let's see what it is in it. So we pulled 3 Ultras. I guess that's decent luck. Can't complain about that. Ooh, another Ultra. Oh, our second Mega Flea. Oh yeah, I dismantled one of these. I forgot about that. Oh, we pulled another one. Alright, so there is that. And with that, I think that's going to go ahead and do it for this video here. In between videos, I am going to keep working on the deck a little bit more. Oh, hey, we have another mission. Let's see what's up. Oh, for finding secret packs. Gotcha. Yeah, so like I said, I might work on the deck a little bit more. See if I can craft at least 2 Max C to throw in there. Again, would ideally like 3 Max C and Nibiru in the final build, but yeah, between videos I'm going to be playing more in gold, and we'll take a look at more games in the next video here. So that's all the time that I've got for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the very end. I very much appreciate that. It means a lot to me, not only personally, but as a means of supporting the channel. Other great ways to support the channel are going to be commenting and subscribing, comments. It seems like a lot of you are really into this series, which is awesome because I again think it's a really fun and cool series to be able to do. So I greatly appreciate the support there. Subscribing is going to let you know when my videos drop, which does happen every single day. So you do have daily Master Duel content to look forward to when you subscribe. And then let's see what else is there. Oh yeah, of course, the Patreon. How could I forget? Patreon, you'll find a link to that in the description below. For more daily Master Duel content, I've got that over there. There you'll find some content preview for stuff that's going to go on the YouTube channel. You'll find exclusive games to the Patreon. Q&As. We've been doing a lot of Q&A stuff lately, actually. But answering a lot of questions over there. And been having a lot of fun doing that. As well as other perks and more to come in the future. It's just $5 a month, and you definitely get a lot more value out of that than you would for a pack full of filler. So would definitely recommend checking that out, and all contributions there are greatly appreciated. But for the time being, that's all is what I meant to say. This is XLex signing out. Hope you have a fantastic day.